What do you do when you're not sure? That's the topic of my sermon today. You look for God's direction and can't find it. Last year, when President Kennedy was assassinated, who among us did not experience the most profound disorientation? What now? Which way? What do I say to my kids? What do I tell myself? It was a time of people sitting together, bound together by a common feeling of hopelessness. But think of that. Your bond with your fellow beings was your despair. It was a public experience shared by everyone in our society. It was awful, but we were in it together. How much worse is it then for the lone man, the lone woman, stricken by a private calamity? No one knows I'm sick. No one knows I've lost my last real friend. No one knows I've done something wrong. Imagine the isolation. You see the world as through a window. On one side of the glass, happy, untroubled people. On the other side, you. Something has happened, and you have to carry it. And it's incommunicable. For those so afflicted, only God knows their pain, their secret, the secret of their alienating sorrow. And when such a person, as they must, howls to the sky, to God, help me. What if no answer comes? Silence. I want to tell you a story. A cargo ship sank and all her crew were drowned. Only this one sailor survived. He made a raft of some spars, and being of a nautical discipline, he turned his eyes to the heavens and read the stars. He set a course for his home and, exhausted, fell asleep. Clouds rolled in and blanketed the sky. For the next 20 nights, as he floated on that vast ocean, he could no longer see the stars. He thought he was on course, but there was no way to be certain. Had he set his course right? Was he still going on toward his home? Or was he hopelessly lost and doomed to a terrible death? No way to know. As the days rolled on and he wasted away with fevers, thirst, starvation, he began to have doubts. Had he set his course right? Was he still going on toward his home? Or was he hopelessly lost and doomed to a terrible death? No way to know. The message of the constellations. Had he only imagined it because of his desperate circumstance? Or had he seen truth once and now had to hold on to it without further reassurance? And I want to say to you, doubt can be a bond as powerful and sustaining as certainty. When you are lost, you are not alone. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Amen.
Come in.
Have you a moment, Sister Aloysius?
Oh, come in, Sister James. Who's watching your class?
They're having art.
Art. Waste of time.
But it's only an hour a week.
Much can be accomplished in 60 minutes.
Yes, Sister Aloysius. I was wondering if I might know what you did about William London.
I sent him home.
Oh dear, so he's still bleeding.
Oh, yes.
His nose just let loose and started gushing during the Pledge of Allegiance.
Was it spontaneous?
Well, what else would it be?
Self-induced.
You mean you think he might have intentionally given himself a nosebleed?
Exactly.
No.
You're an innocent person, Sister James. William London is a fidgety boy. And if you don't stay right on him, he'll do anything to escape his chair. He'd set his foot on fire for half a day out of school.
But why?
He has a restless mind.
But that's good.
No, it's not. His father's a policeman, and the last thing that he needs is a rowdy boy. No, William London is headed for trouble. Puberty has gotten a hold of him. He will be imagining all the wrong things, and I strongly suspect that he will not graduate high school. That is beyond our jurisdiction. We simply have to get him through and out the door, and then he becomes somebody else's project. Ordinarily, I assign my most experienced sisters to the 8th grade, but I'm working within constraints. Are you in control of your class?
I think so.
Usually there are more students sent down to me.
I try to handle things myself.
Well, perhaps that could be an error. You are answerable to me. I to the Monsignor, he to the Bishop, and so on up to the Holy Father. There is a chain of discipline. Make use of it.
Yes, Sister Aloysius.
How's Donald Muller doing?
Steady.
Good. Has anyone hit him?
No.
Good. That girl, Linda Conti, have you seated her away from the boys?
As far as space permits, but it doesn't do much good.
I'll just get her through. Intact.
So should I go? Is something the matter?
No. Why? Is something the matter?
I don't think so.
Then nothing's the matter then.
Well, thank you, sister. I just wanted to check on William's nose.
He had a ballpoint pen.
Excuse me?
William London. He had a ballpoint pen. He was fiddling with it while he was waiting for his mother. He's not using it for his assignments, I hope.
Oh, no, of course not.
I'm sorry, I even let cartridge pens into the school. The student should really only be learning script with a true fountain pen. Always the easy way out these days. And what does that teach? Every easy choice today will have consequences tomorrow, mark my words.
Yes, sister.
Ballpoints make them press down. And when they press down, they write like monkeys.
I don't allow them ballpoint pens.
Good. Penmanship has been dying all across the country. You have some time. Sit down. You might as well have a talk. I've been meaning to talk to you. I observed your lesson on the New Deal at the beginning of the term. Not bad. But I caution you, do not idealize Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He was a good president, but he did attempt to pack the Supreme Court, and I do not approve of making heroes out of lay historical figures. If you want to talk about saints, do it in religion.
Yes, sister.
Also, I question your enthusiasm on history.
Oh, but I love history.
Exactly my meaning. You favor history and risk swaying the students to value it over their other subjects. I think this is a mistake.
I never thought about that. I'll try to treat my other lessons with more enthusiasm.
No, give them their history without putting sugar all over it. That's the point. Now, tell me about your class. How would you characterize the condition of 8B?
Well, I don't know where to begin. What would you like to know?
Well, let's start with Stephen Inzio.
Stephen Inzio has the highest marks in the class.
Noreen Horan.
Second highest marks.
Brenda McNulty.
Third highest.
You see that I'm making a point here, sister? I know that Stephen Inzio, Noreen Horan, and Brenda McNulty are 1, 2, and 3 in your class. School-wide, there are 48 such students in each grade period. I make it my business to know all 48 of their names. I do not say this to aggrandize myself, but to illustrate the importance of paying attention. You must pay attention as well.
Yes, sister.
I cannot be everywhere.
Am I falling short, sister?
These 3 students with the highest marks, are they your most intelligent children in your class?
No, I wouldn't say they are, but they do work the hardest.
Very good. That's right. That's the ethic. What good is a gift if it's left in the box? What good is a high IQ if you're staring out the window with your mouth agape? Be hard on the bright ones, sister. Don't be charmed by their cleverness. Not theirs and not yours. I think that you're a competent teacher, Sister James. But maybe not our best teacher. The best teachers do not perform. They cause their students to perform.
Do I perform?
As if on a Broadway stage.
Oh dear. I had no conception.
You're showing off. You like to see yourself 10 feet tall in their eyes. Another thing occurred to me. Where were you before?
Mount St. Margaret's?
All girls.
Yes. I feel I know how to handle them.
Then perhaps you were wrong. And perhaps you are not working hard enough. No tears.
I thought you were satisfied with me.
Satisfaction is a vice. Do you have a handkerchief?
Yes.
Well, use it. Do you think that Socrates was satisfied? Good teachers are never content. We have some 372 students in this school. It is a society which requires constant educational, spiritual, and human vigilance. I cannot afford to have an innocent instructor in my 8th grade class. It would be self-indulgent. Innocence is a form of laziness. Innocent teachers are easily duped. You must be canny, Sister James.
Yes, sister.
When William London gets a nosebleed, be skeptical. Don't let a little blood fuddle your judgment. God gave you a brain and a heart. The heart is warm, but your wits must be cold. Liars must be frightened to lie to you. They should feel uncomfortable in your presence. I doubt they are.
I don't know. I never thought about it.
The children should think that you can see right through them.
But wouldn't that be a little frightening?
Only to the ones that are up to no good.
But I want my students to feel that they can talk to me.
They're children. They can talk to each other. It's more important that they have a fierce moral guardian. You stand at the door, sister. You are the gatekeeper. If you are vigilant, they will not need to be.
I'm not sure what you want me to do.
And if things occur in your classroom, which you sense require understanding, but you don't understand, come to me.
Yes, sister.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm the principal of this school. So, do you stay when the specialty instructors come in?
Yes.
But you're here now, and art is going on.
Well, I was a little concerned about William's nose.
Right. So art is in class.
She comes in, Mrs. Bell. Yes.
And then you take them down to the basement for a dance with Mrs. Shields.
On Thursdays.
Another waste of time.
Oh, but everyone loves the Christmas pageant.
I don't love it. Frankly, it offends me. That girl last year that was playing Our Lady was wearing lipstick. I was waiting in the wings for that little jade.
And then there's music.
Oh, a strange woman with a portable piano. What is wrong with her neck?
Some kind of goiter, the poor woman.
Yes, this is Carolyn.
That's right.
We used to have sisters teaching that. Not enough sisters. What else?
Physical education and religion.
And for that, we have Father Flynn. 2 hours a week. And you stay for those?
Mostly, unless I have reports to fill out or there's papers
What do you
to
think of
grade.
Father Flynn?
He is a brilliant man. What a speaker.
Yes, his sermon this past Sunday was poetic.
And he's actually quite good, too, at teaching basketball. I was surprised. I wouldn't think the man of the cloth, the personality type for basketball, but he has a way he has. It's very natural with dribbling and shooting and...
What do you think that sermon was about?
What?
This past Sunday. What was he talking about?
Well, doubt. He was talking about doubt.
Why?
Excuse me, sister?
Well, I mean, sermons come from somewhere, don't they? Is Father Flynn in doubt? Is he concerned that someone else is in doubt?
I suppose you'd have to ask him.
No. That would not be appropriate. He's my superior. If he were troubled, he would confess to a fellow priest or the Monsignor. We do not share intimate information with priests.
I am a little concerned.
About what?
The time. Our class will be over in a few minutes and I should go up.
Have you noticed anything, Sister James?
About what?
I want you to be alert.
I'm not sure I'm following you, sister.
I'm sorry that I can't be more forthright, but I have to be careful not to create something by saying it. I can only say that I'm concerned, perhaps needlessly, about matters at St. Nicholas.
Academically?
I wasn't inviting a guessing game. I want you to pay attention in your class.
Of course, I'll pay attention to my class, and I'll try not to perform. I'll try to be less innocent. Sister, I'm sorry you're disappointed in me, but please know that I'll try my best, honestly.
Look at you. You trade anything for a warm look. I'm telling you, here and now, I want to see the starch in your character cultivated. If you're looking for reassurance, you can be fooled. If you forget yourself and study others, you will not be fooled. It's important. Now, one final matter, and then you really must be getting back. Sister Veronica is going blind.
How horrible.
This is not generally known, and I don't want it to be known. If the rectory finds out, she'll be gone, and I can't afford to lose her. But now, if you see her making her way down the stone stairs into the courtyard, for the love of heaven, lightly take her hand as if in fellowship, and see that she doesn't destroy herself. All right, go.
All right, settle down, boys. All right, now, the thing about shooting from the foul line, it's psychological. The rest of the game, you are cooperating against your teammates, right? You're competing against the other team. But at the foul line, it's you against yourself. And the danger is you start to think. When you think, you stop breathing, your body locks up, right? So you gotta remember to relax, take a breath, unlock your knees. This is something for you to watch, Jimmy. You stand there like a parking meter, right? Come up with the routine of what you do. You can shift your weight, move your hips. You think this is funny, Ralph? What's funny is you never getting a foul shot, all right? All right, listen. Don't worry if you look silly. They won't think you're silly if you make the basket, right? Come up with a routine. Concentrate on the routine, and you'll forget to get tensed up. Oh, on another matter. I noticed several of you guys have dirty fingernails. Now, I don't want to see that. Now, I'm not talking about the length of your nails. I'm talking about cleanliness. See? Look at my nails. They're long. I like them a little long. But look how clean they are, right? So that makes it okay. There was this kid I grew up with, Timmy Matheson. He never had clean nails. He put his fingers up his nose and his mouth. Hey, this is a true story. Learn to listen. He got spinal meningitis and died a horrible death. Sometimes, boys, it's the little things that get to you. Whoa! You talk to a girl with those filthy paws, Mr. Conroy, she's gonna take off like she's being chased by the red Chinese. All right, guys, what am I gonna do with you? Go get dressed. Come on over to the rectory. We'll have some cookies, some Kool-Aid. We'll have a bull session, all right? Yeah? Let's go.
Good afternoon, sister.
Good afternoon, Sister James. Mr. McGinn pruned this bush, which was the right thing to do, but he neglected to protect it from the frost.
Have we had a frost?
When it comes, it's too late.
You know about gardening.
A little. Where's your class?
The girls are having music.
And the boys?
Oh, they're in the rectory.
Oh, Father Flynn.
Yes, he's giving them a talk.
On what subject?
How to be a man.
Well, if sisters were permitted in the rectory, I'd be interested to hear that talk. I don't know how to be a man. I'd like to know what's involved. Have you ever given the girls a talk on how to be a woman?
Oh no, I wouldn't be competent.
Why not?
I just don't think I would be. I took my vows at the beginning. At the beginning.
Well, the founder of our order, the Blessed Mother Seton, was married and had 5 children before embarking on her vows.
I often wondered how she managed so much in one life.
Well, life perhaps is longer than one thinks, and the dictates of the soul more numerous. I was married.
You were?
Well, you could at least hide your astonishment.
I didn't know.
When one takes on the habit, one closes the door on secular things. My husband died in the war against Adolf Hitler.
Really? Excuse me, sister.
But I'm like you. I don't think that I'd feel competent lecturing tittering girls on the subject of womanhood. I don't come into this garden often. What is it? 40 feet across? The convent's there, the rectory is there. We might as well be separated by the Atlantic Ocean. I used to potter around out here. But then Monsignor Benedict does his reverie at quixotic times. And we have been rightly discouraged from crossing paths with priests unattended. He is 79, but nevertheless.
The Monsignor. He's very good, isn't he?
Yes, but he is oblivious.
To what?
I don't believe he knows who's the President of the United States. I mean him no disrespect, of course. It's just that he's otherworldly in the extreme.
Is it that he's innocent, Sister Aloysius?
You have a slyness that works, Sister James. Be careful of it. How's your class? How's Donald Muller doing?
He's 13th in class.
I know. That's sufficient. Is he being accepted?
He has no friends.
Well, that would be a lot to ask after only 2 months. Has anyone hit him?
No.
Well, someone will. And when it happens, you send them right down to me.
I'm not so sure anyone will.
There is a statue of St. Patrick on one side of the church altar and a statue of St. Anthony on the other side. This parish serves Irish and Italian families. Someone will hit Donald Muller.
He has a protector.
Who?
Father Flynn.
What?
He's taken an interest in Donald since he went on the altar boys. I thought I should tell you.
I told you to come to me, but I hoped that you never would.
Maybe I shouldn't have.
I knew that once you did, things would be set in motion. So it's happened.
What? No, I'm not telling you that. I'm not even certain what you mean.
Yes, you are.
I have been trying to become more cold in my way of thinking, as you suggested. But I feel as if I've lost my way a little, Sister Aloysius. I had the most terrible dream last night, and I want to be guided by you and responsible to the children, but I want my peace of mind. And I must tell you, I've been longing for the return of my peace of mind.
Though you may not have it. It's not your place to be complacent. That's for the children. That's what we give them.
I think I'm starting to understand you a little, but it's just so unsettling to look at things and people with suspicion. It feels as if I'm less close to God.
When one takes a step to address wrongdoing, one takes a step away from God, but in his service. Dealing with such matters is hard and thankless work.
I've become more reserved in class, and I feel separated from the children.
That's as it should be.
But I feel wrong. And about this other matter, I don't have any evidence, and I'm not even certain that anything has happened.
No, we can't wait for that.
But what if it's nothing?
Then it's nothing. I wouldn't mind being wrong, but I doubt I am.
Well, then what's to be done?
I don't know.
You'll know what to do.
I don't know what to do. There are parameters that protect him and hinder me.
But he can't be safe if it's established, and I doubt he'll recover from the shame.
What have you seen?
I don't know.
What have you seen?
He took Donald to the rectory.
What for?
A talk.
When?
A week ago.
Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. It never entered my mind that there would be anything wrong.
Of all the children, Donald Muller. I suppose it makes sense.
How does it make sense?
He's isolated. The little sheep lagging behind is the one that the wolf goes for.
But maybe it's nothing.
Our first Negro student. I thought there'd be fighting, a parent or two to deal with. I should have foreseen this possibility.
How could you imagine it?
It's my job to outshine the fox in cleverness. That's my job.
But I don't know that anything is wrong. It's just the way the boy acted when he came back to class.
He said something?
No, it was his expression. He seemed frightened, and he put his head on the desk in the most peculiar way. And another thing, I think there was alcohol on his breath. There was alcohol on his breath.
8 years ago, at St. Boniface, we had a priest who had to be stopped. But I had Monsignor Scully then, whom I could rely on. Here, there is no man that I can go to. And the men run everything. We're going to have to stop him ourselves.
But can't you just report your suspicions?
Come on, Senior Bennett. The man is guileless. He would just ask Father Flynn.
Well, would that be such a bad idea?
And he would believe whatever Father Flynn told him. He would consider the matter settled.
But maybe that's all that needs to be done. If it's true, if I had done something awful, I would be so repentant.
Sister James, my dear, you must try to imagine a very different kind of person than yourself. A man who would do this has already denied a great deal. If I tell the Monsignor and he's satisfied with Father Flynn's rebuttal, the matter is suppressed.
Well, then tell the bishop.
The hierarchy of the church does not permit me to go to the bishop. Now, once I tell the Monsignor the matter is out of my hands, I'm helpless. I'm gonna have to come up with a pretext. Get Father Flynn into my office, try to force it. And you will have to be there.
Me? Why, sister, no, I couldn't.
I can't be closeted alone with a priest. Another sister has to be in attendance, and it has to be you. The circle of confidence mustn't be made any wider. Think of the boy if this gets out.
I can't do it.
Why not? You're squeamish?
I'm not equipped. I'd be embarrassed. I couldn't possibly be present at the topic we're spoken of.
Please, sister, do not indulge yourself in witless adolescent scruples. I assure you that I would prefer a more seasoned confederate, but you are the one who came to me.
You told me to.
Would you rather the boy be exploited? And don't think that this is the only story. If you close your eyes, you will be a party to all that follows.
You're supposed to tell the Monsignor.
That you saw a look in the boy's eyes? That perhaps you smelled something on his breath? The Monsignor thinks that the sun rises and sets on Father Flynn. You'd be branded a hysteric and transferred.
We could ask him.
Who?
The boy, Donald Muller.
He'll deny it.
Why?
Shame.
You can't know that.
And if he does point a finger, how do you think that that would be perceived in this community? A black child. I gotta think this through. I'm gonna have to invite Father Flynn into my office on an unrelated matter. And you will be there.
What good can I do?
Aside from the unacceptability of a priest and a nun being alone, I need a witness.
To what?
Well, he may tell the truth and then lie afterwards.
The boys are coming from the rectory. They seem happy enough.
They look smug, like they have a secret.
There he is.
If I could, Sister James, I certainly would choose to live in innocence. But innocence is only wisdom in a world without evil. Situations arise and we are confronted with wrongdoing and the need to act.
I have to take the boys up to class.
Go on then. Take them. I will be talking to you. Yes, it was quite a windstorm we had last night. No, I didn't know there was a great wind in Ireland and you were there for it. That is fascinating. Yes, I was wondering if you would be so kind as to remove a tree limb that has fallen in the courtyard of the church. Yes, well, Sister Veronica tripped on it this morning and she fell on her face. No, I think she's all right. No, she doesn't look any worse. Yes, yes, thank you very much, Mr. McGinn. Come in.
Morning, Sister Aloysius. How are you today?
Good morning, Father Flynn. Very well. Good of you to come by.
Are we ready for the meeting?
Oh, we're just short, Sister James. Did you hear that wind last night?
I certainly did. Imagine what it must have been like in the frontier days when a man alone in the woods sat by a fire in his buckskins and listened to a sound like that. Imagine the loneliness, the immense darkness pressing in. How frightening it must have been.
Well, if one lacked faith in God's protection, I suppose it would be frightening.
Did I hear Sister Veronica had an accident?
Yes, she fell on a piece of wood this morning and practically killed herself.
Is she all right?
Oh, she's fine.
Her sight's not good, is it?
Her sight is fine. Nuns fall, you know.
No, I didn't know that.
It's the habit. It catches us up more often than not, and what with us being in black and white and so prone to falling, we're more like dominoes than anything else.
Oh dear, am I past the time?
Not at all. Sister Aloysius and I were just having a nice chat.
Good morning, Father Flynn. Good morning, sister. I'm sorry for the delay. Mr. McGinn had closed the courtyard to fix something, and so I had to go back through the convent, out the side door, and then I ran into Sister Veronica.
Oh, how is she?
She has a bit of a bloody nose.
Well, I'm beginning to think that you're punching people.
Sister!
Well, after the incident with never mind. Please, come in. Have a seat. I actually have a hot pot of tea, and I'm going to close this, but not quite for form's sake. Would you care for a cup of tea, Father?
Oh, I would love a cup of tea.
Perhaps you could serve him, sister.
Of course.
And yourself, of course.
Do you take tea, sister?
No, I've already had a cup.
Thank you. Oh, is there sugar?
Sugar? Yes. It's in here somewhere. I put it away for Lent last year and I never remembered to take it out.
It mustn't have been so much to give up then.
No, I'm sure you're right. Ah, here it is. And I shall serve you, though for lack of practice. Your fingernails.
Oh, yeah, I wear them a little long. The sugar?
1,
3.
3,
Sweet tooth.
1, 2, 3. Sister, do you want sugar?
Never. Not that there's anything wrong with sugar. Thank you.
Well, thank you for making time for us, Father. We were at our wits' end.
I think it's an excellent idea to rethink the Christmas pageant. Last year's effort was a little woebegone.
Oh no, I loved it. Oh, but I love all Christmas pageants. I just love the Nativity and the birth of the Savior. And the hymns, of course. A Little Town of Bethlehem, O Come, Ye Come, Emmanuel.
Thank you,
All
Sister
Called.
James. Sister James will be co-directing the pageant this year with Mrs. Shields. So what do you think, Father? Is there something new we could do?
Well, we all love the Christmas hymns, but it might be jolly to include a secular song.
Secular?
Yes, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, something like that.
Well, what would be the point of performing a secular song?
Fun?
Or Frosty the Snowman.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, we could have one of the boys dress as a snowman and dance around.
Which boy?
We do tryouts.
Frosty the Snowman espouses a pagan belief in magic. A snowman comes to light when an enchanted hat is put on his head. If the music were more somber, people would realize that the images are disturbing and the song heretical.
I never thought of Frosty the Snowman like that.
It should be banned from the airwaves.
Okay, so not Frosty the Snowman.
No, I don't think so. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Would be fine, I suppose. The parents would like it. May I ask what you just wrote down with that ballpoint pen?
Oh, no, nothing. Well, an idea for a sermon.
You had one just now?
Yeah, I get them all the time.
Well, how fortunate.
I forget them, so I write them down.
Well, what is the idea?
Intolerance.
Would you like a little more tea, Father?
Not yet. You know, I think a message of the Second Ecumenical Council was that the church needs to take on a more familiar face, reflect the local community. We should sing a song from the radio now and then. Take the kids out for ice cream.
Ice cream.
Well, maybe take the boys on a camping trip. Look, we should be friendlier. The children and their parents should view us as members of their families rather than emissaries from Rome. I think the Christmas pageant should be charming, like a community theater doing a show.
But we're not members of their family. We're different.
Why? Because of our vows?
Precisely.
I don't think we're so different. You know, I would take another cup of tea, sister. Thank you.
And they think we're different. The working class people of this parish trust us to be different.
I think we're getting off the subject.
Yes, you're right. Back to it. The Christmas pageant. We must be careful how Donald Muller is used in the pageant.
Oh, easy, sister. You don't spill.
Sorry.
What about Donald Muller?
We must be careful in the pageant that we neither hide Donald Muller nor put him forward.
Because of the color of his skin.
That's right.
Why?
Oh, come now, Father, you're being disingenuous.
I think he should be treated like every other boy.
Well, you yourself singled the boy out for special attention. You held a private meeting with him in the rectory, what, a week ago?
Yes.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Donald Muller?
Yes, the boy acted strangely when he returned to class.
He did?
When he returned from the rectory, a little odd, yes.
Can you tell us why?
But how did he act strangely?
I don't know how to explain. He laid his head on the desk and...
Okay, so you had some sort of an impression.
Yes,
And he'd come from the rectory, so you're asking me if I know something about it.
that's it.
Oh. Well, did you want to discuss the pageant? Is that why I'm here? Or is this what you wanted to discuss?
This.
Wow, I feel a little uncomfortable.
Why?
Why do you think? Something about your tone.
I would prefer a discussion of fact rather than tone.
Well, if I had judged my conversation with Donald Muller to be of concern to you, sister, I would have sat you down and talked to you about it. But I did not judge it to be of concern to you.
Well, perhaps you are mistaken in your understanding of what concerns me. The boy is in my school, and his well-being is my responsibility.
His well-being is not at issue.
I'm not satisfied that is true. The boy was upset when he returned to class.
Did he say something?
No,
What happened in the rectory?
Happened? Nothing happened. I had a talk with a boy.
What about?
It was a private matter.
He's 12 years old. What could be
Okay, I'm going to
private?
say it again, sister. I object to your tone.
This isn't about my tone or your tone, Father Flynn. It's about arriving at the truth.
Of what?
You know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? You're controlling the expression on your face right now, aren't you?
My face. You said you wanted to discuss the pageant, sister. That's why I'm here. Am I to believe that you brought me into your office to confront me in some way? That's outrageous. I am not answerable to you. What exactly are you accusing me of?
I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm asking you to tell me what happened in the rectory.
I do not wish to continue this conversation at all further. And if you're dissatisfied with that, I suggest you speak with Monsignor Benedict. I can only imagine that your unfortunate behavior this morning is the result of overwork. Perhaps you need a leave of absence. I might suggest it. Have a good morning. Sister.
good morning, Father.
There was alcohol on his breath when he returned from his meeting with you.
Alcohol.
I did smell it on his breath.
Well,
Can't you let this alone?
no.
I see there's no way out of it.
Take your time, Father. Would you like some more tea?
You should have left it alone.
Not possible.
Donald Muller served as altar boy last Tuesday morning. After Mass, Mr. McGinn caught him in the sacristy drinking altar wine. When I found out, I sent for him. There were tears. He begged not to be removed from the altar boys, and I took pity on him. I told him if no one else found out, I'd let him stay on.
Oh, what a relief. That explains everything. Thanks be to God. Oh, sister, look, it was all a mistake.
And if I talk to Mr. McGinn?
Talk to Mr. McGinn, by all means. But now that the boy's secret's out, I'm going to have to remove him from the altar boys, which I think is too bad. That's what I was trying to avoid.
You were trying to protect the boy.
That's right.
I might have done the same thing. Sister, is there any way Donald could stay on the altar boys?
No. If the boy drank altar wine, he can't continue as an altar boy.
Of course, you're right. I'm just not the disciplinarian you are, sister. And he is the only Negro in the school. That did affect my thinking on the matter. It will be commented on that he's no longer serving at Mass. It's a public thing. A certain ignorant element in this parish will be confirmed in their beliefs.
He must be held to the same standard as the others.
Of course. Do we need to discuss the pageant, or was that
No,
just...
this was the issue.
Are you satisfied?
Yes.
Then I'll be going. I have some writing to do.
Intolerance.
That's right. You know, I am not pleased with how you handled this, sister. The next time you're troubled by dark ideas, I suggest you speak with the Monsignor.
What a relief, he cleared it all up.
You believe him?
Of course.
Isn't it more that it's easier to believe him?
But we can corroborate his story with Mr. McGinn.
Yes. These types of people are clever. They're not so easily undone.
Well, I'm convinced.
You're not. You just want things resolved so you can have your simplicity back.
I want no further part of this.
I will bring him down with or without your help.
How can you be so sure that he's lying?
Experience.
You just don't like him. You don't like it that he uses a ballpoint pen. You don't like it that he takes 3 lumps of sugar in his tea, and you don't like it that he likes Frosty the Snowman, and you're letting that convince you that he's done something terrible. Just terrible. Well, I like Frosty the Snowman! And I think it would be nice if this school were run like a prison, and I think that it's a good thing that I love to teach history so that I might inspire my students to love it too. And if you judge that to mean that I'm not fit to be a teacher, then so be it!
Sit down. In ancient Sparta, difficult matters were settled by who shouted the loudest. Fortunately, we're not in ancient Sparta. Now tell me, do you honestly think that the students in this school are treated like inmates in a prison?
No, I don't. Actually, by and large, they seem to be fairly happy here. But they are all uniformly terrified of you.
Yes, that's how it works. Sit there. Yes, this is Sister Aloysius Bovier, the principal of St. Nicholas School. Yes, this is Mrs. Muller. I'm calling about your son, Donald. Well, I'd like you and your husband to come down here for a talk. When would that be convenient?
A woman was gossiping with a friend about a man she hardly knew. I know none of you have ever done this. And that night, she had a dream. A great hand appeared over her and pointed down at her. She was immediately seized with an overwhelming sense of guilt. The next day, she went to confession. She got the old parish priest, Father O'Rourke, and she told him the whole thing. Is gossiping a sin? She asked. Was that the hand of God Almighty pointing a finger at me? Should I be asking your absolution? Father, tell me, have I done something wrong? Yes, Father O'Rourke replied. Yes, you ignorant, badly brought up female. You've borne false witness against your neighbor. You've played fast and loose with his reputation, and you should be heartily ashamed. So the woman said she was sorry and asked for forgiveness. Not so fast, says O'Rourke. I want you to go home. Take the pillow off your bed. A knife from your drawer. Go up to your roof. Cut it open and come back to me. So the woman did as the old priest instructed. She went home, she took the pillow off her bed, a knife from the drawer. She went up the fire escape to her roof and stabbed the pillow. Then she returned to the old priest as instructed. Did you gut the pillow with the knife? Says O'Rourke. Yes, Father. And what was the result? Feathers, she said. Feathers, he repeated. Yes, Father, feathers everywhere. Now I want you to go back and gather up every last feather that flew out on the wind. Well, she says. It can't be done. I don't know where they went. The wind took them all over. And that, said Father O'Rourke, is gossip. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Amen. Good afternoon. Sister James.
Good afternoon, Father.
What is that bird complaining about? What kind of a bird is that? A starling? A grackle?
A crow?
Of course it is. Oh, are you praying? I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm not praying, no.
You seem subdued.
Oh, I can't sleep.
Why not?
Bad dreams? Well, actually, it's just one bad dream and I haven't slept right since.
What about?
I looked in a mirror and there was a darkness where my face should be. It frightened me.
I can't sleep on occasion.
No? Do you see that big hand pointing a finger at you?
Yes. Oh, sometimes.
Was your sermon directed at anyone in particular?
What do you think?
Did you make up that story about the pillow?
Yes. Oh, yeah. You make up little stories to illustrate in the tradition of the parable.
But aren't the things that actually happen in life more worthy of interpretation than a made-up story?
No. What happens in life is beyond interpretation. The truth tends to be confusing and have no clear conclusion.
I received a letter from my brother in Maryland yesterday. He's very sick.
Oh, well, maybe you should go and see him.
I can't leave my class.
How is Donald Muller doing?
I don't know.
You don't see him?
I see him every day, but I don't know how he's doing. I don't know how to judge these things now.
I stopped speaking to him for fear of it being misunderstood. Isn't that a shame? I actually avoided him the other day when I might have passed him in the hall. He doesn't understand why. I notice you didn't come to me for confession.
No. I went to Monsignor Benedict. He's very kind.
I wasn't?
It wasn't that. As you know why.
You're against me.
No.
You're not convinced.
It's not for me to be convinced one way or the other. It's Sister Aloysius.
Are you just an extension of her?
Well, she's my superior.
But what about you?
I just wish I knew nothing whatever about it. I wish the idea had never entered my mind.
Well, how did it enter your mind?
Sister Aloysius.
You know, I feel as if my reputation is being damaged through no fault of my own. But I am reluctant to take the steps necessary to correct it for fear of doing further harm. It is frustrating, I can tell you that.
Is it true?
What?
You know what I'm asking.
No, it's not true.
I don't know what to believe.
How can you take sides against me?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. I've done nothing. There's no substance to any of this. The most innocent actions can appear sinister to the poisoned mind. I had to throw that poor boy off the altar. He's devastated. The only reason I haven't gone to the Monsignor is because I don't want to tear apart this school. Sister Aloysius would most certainly lose her position as principal if I made her accusations known, since they're baseless. You might lose your place as well.
Are you threatening me?
What do you take me for? No.
I want to believe you.
Then do. It's as simple as that.
But it's not for me to be convinced.
I don't have to prove anything to her.
But she is determined.
To what?
Protect the boy.
It is me that cares about that boy, not her. Has she ever lifted a hand to that child? Or any child in this school? She's like a block of ice. Children need warmth, kindness, understanding. What does she give them? Rules. That black boy needs a helping hand or he's not going to make it. But if she has her way, he'll be left to his own undoing. Why do you think he was in the sacristy drinking wine that day? He's in trouble. She sees me talk in a human way to these children, and she immediately assumes there must be something wrong with it, something dirty. Well, I am not going to let her keep this parish in the Dark Ages, and I am not going to let her destroy my spirit of compassion.
I'm sure that's not her
I
intent.
care about this congregation.
I know you do.
Like you care about your class. You love them, don't you?
Yes.
That's natural. How else would you relate to children? I can look at your face and I know your philosophy. Kindness?
I don't know. I mean, of course.
What do you
but
think is Sister Aloysius' philosophy? Do you suppose?
You don't have to suppose. She told me. She discourages warmth, and she suggested that I be more formal.
There are people who go after your humanity, Sister James, who tell you that the light in your heart is a weakness, that your soft feelings betray you. I don't believe that. It's an old tactic of cruel people to kill kindness in the name of virtue. Don't believe it. There's nothing wrong with love.
Of course not. But
So have you forgotten? That was the message of our Savior to us all. Love. Not suspicion, disapproval, judgment. Love of people. Have you found Sister Aloysius to be a positive inspiration?
I don't want to misspeak, but no. She has taken away my joy of teaching. And I loved teaching more than any.
It's going to be all right.
I just feel as if everything is upside down.
It isn't, though. There are just times in life when you feel lost. You're not alone with it. It happens to many of us.
A bond. I should be going in.
I'm sorry your brother is ill.
Thank you. I don't believe it.
You don't?
No.
Thank you, Sister James. That comes as a great relief to me. Thank you very much. Be quiet.
Mrs. Muller,
Yes.
please come in, have a seat.
I thought I might have had the wrong day when you didn't answer the door.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Between us. I was listening to a transistor radio with an earpiece. Look at how tiny they're making them now. I confiscated it from one of the students, and now I can't stop using it.
You like music?
Not really. news reports. I used to listen to all the news reports when my husband was in Italy in the war. But when I came into possession of this little radio, I found myself doing it again. No, there is no war, and the voices have changed.
You were a married woman?
Yes, but then he was killed. Is your husband coming?
Couldn't get up for work.
I see. Of course, it was a lot to ask.
How's Donald doing?
No, he's passing his subjects. He has average grades.
Oh, good. He was upset about getting kicked off the altar boys.
Did he explain why?
He said he was caught drinking wine.
That is the reason.
Well, that seems fair. But he's a good boy, sister. He fell down there, but he's a good boy pretty much down the line. And he knows what an opportunity he has here. I think the whole thing is a bit too much for him.
What do you mean, the whole thing?
Well, he's the only colored boy here. He's the first in this school. That'd be a lot for a boy.
I suppose, but he has to do the work, of course.
He's doing it though, right?
Yes, he's getting by. He's getting through. How's he at home?
His father beat the hell out of him over that wine.
Oh, he shouldn't do that.
You don't tell my husband what to do. You just stand back. He didn't want Donald to come here.
Why not?
Thought he'd had a lot of trouble with the other boys. But that hasn't really happened as far as I can see.
Good.
That priest, Father Flynn, he been looking out for him.
Have you met Father Flynn?
No, not exactly. I've seen him on the altar. Not face to face. You know, just what I heard from Donald.
Well, what does he say?
Well, you know. Father Flynn, Father Flynn. He looks up to him. The man gives him his time, which is what the boy needs. He needs that.
Mrs. Muller, we may have a problem.
Well, I thought you must have had a reason for calling me in. Principal's a big job. If you stop your day to talk to me, must be something. But I just want to say, though, it's just till June.
Excuse me?
Whatever the problem is, Donald has till June to make it here. Then he's off onto high school.
Right.
If Donald can make it here, that would mean a good chance of getting into a good high school and an opportunity at college. I believe he has the intelligence, and he wants it too.
Well, I don't see anything at this time standing in the way of his graduating with his class.
Well, that's all I care about. Anything else is all right with me.
I doubt that.
Try me.
I'm concerned about the relationship between Father Flynn and your son.
Concern? What do you mean concern?
That it may not be right.
Uh-huh. Well, there's something wrong with everybody. Gots to be forgiven. Isn't that so?
I'm concerned, to be frank, that Father Flynn may have made advances on your son.
May have.
I can't be certain.
No evidence?
No.
Well, maybe there's nothing to it.
I think there is something to it.
Well, I would prefer not to see it that way if you don't mind.
I understand that this is difficult to hear. But I think Father Flynn gave Donald that altar wine.
Why would he do that?
Has he been acting strangely at home?
No.
Nothing out of the ordinary?
He's been himself. Look, sister, I don't want any trouble, and I feel like you're on the mark somehow.
I don't think that you completely understand.
I think I understand the kind of thing you're talking about, and I don't want to get into it.
What's that?
Not to be disagreeing with you, but if we're talking about something floating around between this priest and my son, that ain't my son's fault.
I'm not suggesting that it is.
He's just a boy.
I know.
12 years old. If anybody should be taking the blame, it should be the man, not the boy.
I agree with you completely.
You're agreeing with me, but I'm sitting in the principal's office talking about my son. Why isn't a priest in the principal's office, if you know what I'm saying? And you excuse me for bringing it up.
You're here because I'm concerned about Donald's welfare.
And you think I'm not?
Of course you are.
Okay, let me ask you something. You honestly think that priest gave Donald that wine to drink?
Yes, I do.
Then how come my son got kicked off the altar boys if it was the man that gave it to him?
The boy got caught. The man didn't.
So you give my son the whole blame? No problem my son getting blamed and punished. That's easy. You know why that is.
Perhaps you should let me talk. I think that you're getting upset.
That's because that's the way it is. You're just finding out about it. But that's the way it is, and that's the way it's been. You're not going against no man in a robe and win, sister. He's got the position.
And he's got your son.
Let him have him then.
What?
It's just till June.
Do you know what you're saying?
Know more about it than you.
I believe that this man is creating or has already brought about an improper relationship with your son.
I don't know.
I know that I'm right.
Why you need to know something like that for sure when you don't? Please, sister. You got some righteous cause going on with this priest, and now you want to drag my boy into it. Well, my son doesn't need any additional difficulties. Let him take the good and leave the rest when he leaves this place in June. He knows how to do that. I taught him how to do that.
What kind of mother are you?
Excuse me? But you don't know enough about life to say a thing like that, sister.
I know enough.
You know the rules, maybe, but that don't cover it.
I know what I won't accept.
You accept what you gotta accept and you work with it. That's the truth that I know. Sorry to be so sharp, but you're in here in this room.
This man is in my school.
Well, he's gotta be somewhere. And maybe he's doing some good too. You ever think about that?
He's after the boys.
Well, maybe some of them boys want to get caught. Maybe what you don't know is my son is that way. That's why his father beat him, not the why. He beat Donald up for what he is.
What are you telling me?
I'm his mother. I'm talking about his nature now. Not anything that he's done. You can't hold the child responsible for what God gave him to be.
Listen to me with care, Mrs. Muller. I'm only interested in actions. It's hopeless to discuss a child's possible inclination. I'm having a difficult enough time addressing a man's deeds. This isn't about what the child may be. It's about what the man is. It's about the man.
But there's the boy's nature.
Let's leave that out of it.
Forget it then! You're the one forcing people to say these things out loud. Things that in the end, you leave them alone if you can. That's what I know. My son came to the school because they were gonna kill him in a public school. So we were lucky enough to get him in here for his last year. Good. His father don't like him. He come here, the kids don't like him. One man good to him, this priest, put a hand out to the boy. Does the man have his reasons? Yes. Everybody has their reasons. You have your reasons. But do I ask the man why he's good to my boy? No. I don't care. My son needs a man to care about him and to see him through to where he needs to go. And thank God this educated man with some kindness in his heart wants to do just that.
This will not do.
It's just till June. Sometimes things aren't black and white.
And sometimes they are. I will throw your son out of this school, make no mistake.
But why would you do that if nothing started with it?
Because I will stop this, whatever way I must.
You heard my son get it your way.
It won't end with your son. There will be others, if there aren't already.
Throw the priest out then.
I'm trying to do just that.
Well, what do you want from me?
Nothing. As it turns out, I was hoping that you would know something that could help me. But it seems you don't.
Please, sister, leave my son out of this. My husband would kill that child over a thing like this.
I'll try.
I don't know, sister. You may think you're doing good, but the world's a hard place. I don't know if you and me are on the same side, but I'll be standing here with my boy and those that are good with my boy. It'll be nice to see you there. Nice talking to you, sister.
Good morning.
May I come in?
We would require a third party.
What was Donald's mother doing here?
We were having a chat.
About what?
A third party is truly required, Father.
No, sister. No third parties. You and me are due for a talk. You have to stop this campaign against me.
You can stop it at any time.
How?
Confess and resign.
You are attempting to destroy my reputation, but the result of all this will be your removal, not mine.
What are you doing in this school?
I am trying to do good.
Or even more to the point, what are you doing in the priesthood?
You are single-handedly holding this school and this parish back.
From what?
Progressive education and a welcoming church.
You can't distract me, Father Flynn. This isn't about my behavior, it's about yours.
It is about your unfounded suspicion.
That's right. I have suspicion.
You know what I haven't understood through all of this is why do you suspect me? What have I done?
You gave that boy wine to drink, and then you let him take the blame.
That is completely untrue. Did you talk to Mr. McGinn?
All McGinn knows is that the boy drank wine. He doesn't know how he came to drink it.
Well, did his mother have something to add to that then?
No.
So that's it. There's nothing there.
I'm not satisfied.
Well, if you're not satisfied, ask the boy then.
No. He'd protect you. That's what he's been doing.
And why would he do that?
Because you have seduced him.
You are insane. You've got it in your head that I've corrupted this child after giving him wine, and nothing I say will change that.
That's right.
But correct me if I'm wrong, this has nothing to do with the wine. Not really. You had a fundamental mistrust of me long before this incident. It was you who warned Sister James to be on the lookout, wasn't it?
That's true.
So you admit it.
Certainly.
Why?
I know people.
That's not good enough.
You will tell me what you've done.
Oh, I will.
Yes.
I'm not one of your truant boys, you know. Sister James is convinced I'm innocent.
Oh, so you talked to Sister James. Well, of course you talked to Sister James.
Did you know that Donald's father beats him?
Yes.
And might that not account for the odd behavior Sister James noticed in the boy?
It might.
Then what? What is it? What did you hear? What did you see that convinced you so thoroughly?
What does it matter?
I want to know!
On the first day of the school year, I saw you reach out and touch William London's wrist, and I saw him pull away.
That's all?
That was all.
That's nothing.
What are you writing now?
You leave me no choice. I'm writing down everything you say. I tend to get too flustered to remember the details of an upsetting conversation. And this may be important when I speak to the Monsignor and explain why you have to be removed as the principal of the school.
This morning, before speaking with Mrs. Muller, I took the precaution of calling the last parish to which you were assigned.
And what did he say?
Who?
The pastor?
I did not speak to the pastor. I spoke to one of the nuns.
You should have spoken to the pastor.
I spoke to a nun.
Well, that is not the proper route for you to have taken, sister. The church is very clear. You are supposed to go through the pastor.
Why? You have an understanding, you and he? Father Flynn, you have a history.
You have no right to go rummaging through my past.
This is your third parish in 5 years.
Okay, so call the pastor. Ask him why I left. It was perfectly innocent.
I'm not calling the pastor.
Hey, I am a good priest, and there is nothing on my record to suggest otherwise.
You will go after another child and another until you are stopped.
What nun did you speak to?
I will not say.
I have not touched a child.
You have.
You have not the slightest proof of anything.
But I have my certainty. And armed with that, I will go to your last parish and the one before that if necessary. I will find a parent, Father Flynn, trust me, I will. A parent who probably doesn't even know that you're still working with children. And once I do that, you will be exposed. You will be attacked, metaphorically or otherwise.
You had no right to act on your own. You are a member of a religious order. You have taken vows, obedience being one. You answer to us. You had no right to step outside the church.
But I will step outside the church if that's what needs to be done, though the door may shut behind me. I will do what needs to be done, Father Flynn, even if it means that I'm damned to hell. You should understand that, or you will mistake me. Now, did you give Donald Muller wine to drink?
Have you never done anything wrong?
I have.
Mortal sin.
Yes,
And
I confessed it. Did you give Donald Muller wine to drink?
whatever I have done, I have left in the healing hands of my confessor, as have you. We are the same.
We are not the same. A dog that bites is a dog that bites. I do not justify what I do wrong and go on. I admit it, desist, and take my medicine. Did you give Donald Muller wine to drink?
No.
Mental reservations?
No.
You lie. Very well then. If you won't leave my office, I will. And once I go, I will not stop.
Wait.
You will request a transfer from this parish. You will ask for a leave of absence until it is granted.
And do what, for the love of God?
Don't.
My life is here, please. Are we people? Am I a person, flesh and blood like you, or are we just ideas and convictions? I can't say everything. Do you understand? There are things that I can't say. Even if you can't imagine the explanation, sister, remember that there are circumstances beyond your knowledge. Even if you feel certainty, it is an emotion and not a fact. In the spirit of charity, I appeal to you. On behalf of my life's work, you have to behave responsibly. I put myself in your hands.
I don't want you.
My reputation is at stake.
You can preserve your reputation.
If you say these things, I won't be able to do my work in the community.
Your work in the community should be discontinued.
You would leave me with nothing.
That's not true. It's Donald Muller who has nothing. And you took full advantage of that.
I have not done anything wrong. I care about that boy very much.
Because you smiled at him and sympathized with him and talked to him as if he were the same?
That child needed a friend.
You're a cheat. That warm feeling that you experienced when that boy looked up at you with trust was not the sensation of virtue. It could be got by a drunkard from his tot of rum. You're a disgrace to the collar. The only reason that you haven't been thrown out of the church is your decline in vocations.
I can fight you.
You will lose.
But you can't know that.
I know.
Where is your compassion?
Nowhere you can get at it. Stay here. Compose yourself. Use the phone if you like. Good day, Father. I have no sympathy for you. I know that you are invulnerable to true regret. And cut your nails.
Yes, this is Father Brendan Flynn from St. Nicholas Parish. I'd like to make an appointment to see the bishop.
How's your brother?
Better, much better.
I'm very glad. I prayed for him.
It was good to get away. I needed to see my family. It had been too long.
And I'm glad you did it.
And Father Flynn is gone.
Yes.
Where?
St. Jerome's.
So you did it. You got him out.
Yes.
Donald Muller is heartbroken that he's gone.
It can't be helped. It's just till June.
I don't think that Father Flynn did anything wrong.
No? He convinced you?
Yes, he did. But did you ever prove it?
What?
That he interfered with Donald Muller?
Did I ever prove it to whom?
Anyone but yourself.
No.
But you were so sure.
Yes.
I wish I could be like you.
Why?
Because I can't sleep at night anymore. Everything is so uncertain to me.
Well, perhaps we're not supposed to sleep so well. They made Father Flynn the pastor at St. Jerome's.
Who?
The bishop appointed Father Flynn the pastor of St. Jerome's Church and School. It's a promotion.
You didn't tell them?
Oh, I told our good Monsignor Benedict. I crossed the garden and I told him, but he did not believe it to be true.
But then, why did Father Flynn leave? What did you say to make him go?
That I had called a nun in his previous parish, that I had found out his prior history of infringements.
So you did prove it.
I was lying. I made no such call.
You lied.
Yes, but if he had no such history, the lie wouldn't have worked. His resignation was his confession. He was what I thought he was. And now he's gone.
I can't believe you lied.
In the pursuit of wrongdoing, one steps away from God. Of course, there is a price.
I see. And so now he's in another school.
Yes. Oh, Sister James.
What is it, sister?